Yo, keep your heart, 3 stacks. Keep your heart. Man, these girls are smart, 3 stacks. These girls are smart. Sweet Jones, what's happening? It's the guy Dre, and I got the homie, the guy Shawn. What's happening, Shawn?
What it do, my man? What's
What's
good out
going
here?
on? What's oh man, why you got that trash on, man? We don't have time for situations like that,
That
man. Like,
star, baby. You know what
we
time it is.
we're trying to evolve and we're trying to create a culture of winning on this podcast. And we can't create that culture with you coming in with that trash shit on, man.
That's what it
After
is.
a bullshit ass comeback against probably the sorriest team in the league. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it.
Hey, win is a win. I don't care how I take it. Win is a win.
Yeah.
And it's a conference win. Win is a win, dog.
Like I said, that Viagra slogan ass team, rise up from the pit of misery. You fucking sorry ass bastard. Now, yo, hey, once again, I want to welcome everybody to the Hip Hop Corner. This is again, as always, it's on the guys' Facebook page, it's on the guys' YouTube page, it's on Spotify, it's on Zingo TV, and now we have a new platform. It's on 1 Mile High Radio. That's an internet streaming service for radio. So check us out on any platform. Riding in the car, you can catch us. We playing over and over again the same style we doing on Zingo TV because that's what we doing. We trying to make shit pop around here.
Yes, sir.
So you want to tell the people what we talking about tonight, man?
Man, I want to get an honors to you. This was a good idea that you brought to the format this morning out of the blue. And I want you to kind of tell them, man, you already in the role.
All right, so tonight we're going to talk about what we're going to call the unsung heroes of hip hop. And so what we're talking about tonight is we're talking about those personnel who are not up here. They're not considered to be a top 5, top 10, dead or alive, whatever the case, but they ain't no bottom feeders. All right, they ain't eating ass on the mic. Like they get busy on the mic. And so we each came up with a list of 5 MCs. We haven't exchanged words or talked about our list or anything. So it's going to be a surprise to me what Shawn got, and it's going to be a surprise to Shawn what I got. But like we normally do, we know hip hop, and we gonna make that shit pop. So get ready to be entertained with the unsung heroes of rap.
Yes, sir. So when we talked about this earlier today, it was really a last minute pivot move that we made. And I felt that to pay homage to those artists that don't really get a lot of I don't want to say respect, but I think these artists we are talking about tonight will get the respect. They do get the respect. But when you talk about top 5 dead or alive, you talk about top 10, their names are not mentioned as much as I think they should be mentioned, especially from my point of view. So we want to dive into it, go back to back, spar a little bit to see why you pick who you pick, and I pick who I pick, and let's see what take us from there. So my number 5, and again, this is not really in order per se. As well. So my number 5, or my first person I want to talk about, is Busta Rhymes. And the reason why I picked Busta Rhymes is because if you can remember, when Busta first came onto the scene, rah, rah, like a dungeon dragon, like he was different. We knew out of that whole group, leaders to the new school, he was different. Energy,
Here we go. The what's the scenario?
Right. Everywhere, on every track that he was coming on, Busta was different. And you saw that. You saw that he was a star amongst all of them. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was only a matter of time for him to branch off. And when he branched off, I think in the beginning, people didn't expect for him to be like a monster when he branched off. Because remember, he was so animated, he was just on some other shit. And then he came out, I think 96, The Coming came out.
And
that album was dope.
Yeah, very dope.
Dope album. It was, that album reminds me of Muddy Waters a little bit. It had that gritty sound, that animated version of hip hop where you can kind of hear his passion. He was speaking, his words were like really moving.
Yeah, we know it. People know it because Redman even said, "Must we forget? I had started all that round shit, round shit, that ready to jump shit up and fuck shit up, round shit."
Yes.
So definitely,
that is why I said that, because if you think about it, some people felt that Busta and Red was kind of like, you know, in the same vein of music. And ODB at one point, remember ODB and Busta was just those wild animals of hip hop during that time, of, you know,
Yeah.
and they kind of meshed together. They had that same energy, that same vibe. But when you start looking at the coming, then you look at When Disaster Strikes, then you look at the Extinction Level Event. These albums came out like back to back. Busta dropping an album every year. Like back then, you only had a couple of artists that were dropping an album every year. You had Jay that was doing it. You had Busta that was doing it. When Ja finally hit the scene, Ja was doing it. But Busta was consistent. I don't think in that span of time, I don't think he dropped a whack album in that span of time. Every album, for the most part, you got The Coming, you got When Disaster Strikes, you got ELE, Extinction Level Event. You had Anarchy that came out. Then you had It Ain't Safe No More. You had Genesis. It's like every year, Busta was dropping some dope albums, and he had some like good radio spin. The joint with him and Janet Jackson. What's it going to be? Shit was a bananas back when at 99. It came out 99 2000.
The shit with him and Mariah. Yeah, he Busta had radio hits, and I think that was actually, I think that's the knock on him. I don't think his albums were whack, but I think people expect more because of the radio spins he was receiving. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's why he's in a level to where he's going to be like an unsung rapper of hip hop. You know what I mean?
And the only reason I feel like, and again, Busta is one of the legends. I think that in my opinion, why I think he's unsung is because you don't hear no one talk about him in top 5 or top 10. I don't remember hearing him. I never heard anyone in circles talk about Busta Rhymes being top 10 or top 5 best rappers that are alive. Now, maybe he doesn't crack that top 10, but I think he should be considered in that bracket as well because he's dope. I mean, the albums are solid. I mean, well put together albums. Lyrics always there. Always had good production. He had a whole movement, the Flip Mode Squad movement. I just think that he didn't get an opportunity, in my opinion, to get the just the admiration of his peers in the rap game. You don't hear him in the top 5, you hear him in the top 10. So I don't want to call him unsung. I would just say that I think we should pay more homage to the Busta Rhymes.
You said something that I think is the opposite. You say he doesn't get the admiration of his peers. Well, I actually think he do. I think his peers they fearful of Busta.
No. I'm saying I don't think he get as much.
Okay, I got you.
Right.
I'm saying I think rappers don't want to. I don't think rappers really want to step on the mic with Busta Rhymes right there.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, Busta used to kill the features, man. Like it was to the point where he was the feature killer. Like you get Busta on the feature, you may get outshined. He's going to get you. Just because of his energy alone. And again, Busta is no slouch when it comes to lyrics. If you go back and listen to the Big Bang album, that album was dope. And that album was a grown-up album. It wasn't that playful album. It wasn't that wild album. That album was an adult album for Busta. And I thought, to me, I felt that album, but probably his best album, one of his better albums.
I agree. So I'm gonna just go ahead and go to my number 5. My number 5. Yeah, Danny's a little hurt right now. We'll figure out how we can console him later. But so my number 5 is not going to be based on lyrics. It's not going to be based on his lyricism as far as being a rapper. I just want to give him kudos just because I think he's dope, and I think if people actually listen to him, they would agree. Mine is Devin the Dude, man. I think Devin the Dude is somebody, when he makes an album, like he really puts some music into his album. Devin sings. That's why he gets so many requests to do hooks. And then I'm not saying that he's a great lyricist, but he's not a slouch when he step on that microphone. So Devin the Dude, I have him there, and I would just like for Devin to get some shine. It's hard when you coming out of that Rap-A-Lot era and you dealing with Scarface on one end, and then you dealing with Willie D, and then also you sandwiched in with UGK. So he was like trying to just get in where he fit in, and it was never about the shine. It really was about the music with Devin. But Devin has some shit, and then it's just he's a comedic rapper. but he does it well. Like if people always say, "Oh, he got a song about boo booing," like that's not what the song is. He's just telling you, miss me with that bullshit. While y'all go ahead and do that bullshit, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna take a shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the song is dope once you listen to the lyrics and you listen to what he's talking about, or you listen to him. Listen, he brought two legends together and he stood. I ain't gonna say necessarily stood toe to toe with them, but he did enough to hold his own, even though it was his song. What a job! You got Snoop on Snoop and 3 Stacks on the book ends of that, and he's able to come out swinging and make it a good song. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's not just him being on the hook. So I just think Devin the Dude, like I said, this is something that's not about lyricism on this one. My next few is going to be about lyricism, but I definitely think that Devin the Dude deserves a whole lot more credit than what he gets.
Absolutely. Man, I think the first time I heard Devin the Dude, I was stationed in Japan, and one of my homeboys, he was actually from Houston, and he used to play Devin the Dude like crazy. And if I'm not mistaken, so please correct me if I'm wrong, that was during the time when the Chronic 2001 came out.
Yeah, because he was on that joint.
He was on that.
I just want to fuck you.
And I remember everybody, man, was like, yo, the guys who were from Houston who knew the whole Devin, know about Devin the Dude, they're like, yo, man, this is nothing, man. We got some real shit from Devin. You know what I mean? Like, that's their dude. So yeah, I can see that. I can see him. He doesn't get talked about a lot. Even if you think about just Southern hip hop artists, especially those from that Houston area, I don't think they even pay that much homage to him. You know about Bun B, you know the Pimp C's. I mean, you know, Face, of course. I don't think I heard Devin the Dude name enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I agree. That's why I put him here. But I think the reason why you don't hear about Devin the Dude when it comes to Houston, because one, you just named what Southerners are going to consider 3 legends. But then you also throw in, you got those cats that came up around the time, or maybe a little bit after Devin, where you got like Zero. Like Zero is going to get all the love.
Right.
Slim Thug is going to get all the love. But then I put Devin in the same vein as Lil Keke. Lil Keke is, again, somebody who is not going to wow you lyric-wise, but Lil Keke is going to put out a jamming-ass album, and it's going to be slapping, and motherfuckers really going to want to fucking pop their trunk and ride to that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that's a good one. So my next one is one that's near and dear to me, and that's Big Pun. I think the Punisher, man, was different. I'll be honest, man. Pun, I've always felt that you catch me on the right day, I'll put Big Pun top 5. And I feel that way right now. Pun should be top 5 on somebody's list. More than just somebody. It should be on a lot of people's top 5 lists. And I know people say, well, he didn't have a lot of material. Well, Big didn't have a lot of material. And you got to kind of think about that as well. Because you think about this. Now Punisher Capital Punishment was a dope album. That album to me is a personal classic of mine, Capital Punishment. And although it's not a Ready to Die, production-wise, lyrically, it stands toe-to-toe with any lyrical album you can think of. Ready to Die, you know, Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt, whatever, is there. Pun was just something special, man. Even Yeah Baby, his second album, right when he died, that album was dope. Even you go back to the Terror Squad compilation album, he killed everybody on that. Anything that Pun touched, Pun killed. Even on the Fat Joe, the Don Cartagena album, he killed that. Every feature he was on, it became his song. Even the posse cut that he had, it was Nas, Jada, Styles,
John Blaze
joint. He killed that. You know what I mean? My crew plus love live. Anyone test the pump must die. Just give me that. You know, you fucked up, right? Hi. You don't get no ends in me casa. Like, dude, he killed that. I kick your ass out. You ain't even in my class. Dude, Pun was ridiculous, man. And it's unfortunate that, you know, that homie died at an early age, man, an early time in his career, because I do think that we would have seen like some legendary music come out of Pun more than what we saw in the first 2 albums. I know he get recognized a lot. I think people, when they start talking about your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, I think that he comes up a lot in different conversations. but I think just because of the small amount of music that we do have from him, in comparison to a lot of catalog from others, I think that it stops people from wanting to put him in that top 5. And again, I'm not saying that he has to be ironclad in that top 5. I think you got 3 or 4 different artists that you would say, hands down, unanimous vote, they are top 5. I think that Pun needs to be considered in that top 5, in that pantheon. It's a beast, man.
I think Pun. So everybody knows that Pun is dope, but like you said, it's the body of work that he actually has to put out there. You know, the catalog is not it's not exorbitant in the amount. So that's what people get away from, and they can use that argument with him. But then when it comes to Big, I think just because Pun and Big's impact on the game was just total, polar opposites. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
Where Big, listen, hey, we rocking Coogee sweaters now. We living better now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so Big, and he had the backing of Puffy. Puffy was already, people don't know it, but Puffy was pretty established in the game at that point. You know what I'm saying? With, dealing with Andre Harrell for all those years. And so when he stepped out on his own, he already had a lane, thanks to him doing Jodeci and Mary J. Blige and all them. So he was able to really put something behind Big that at the time Fat Joe just wasn't able to do. And so that also plays a big part in it.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. Pump was like our street champion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not going to give you a flashy song. He's not going to get you a song that's going to be on the radio every single spin or like that club banger. He's not going to give you that. What he will give you is like a dope album, a classic dope album with some heavy lyrics, bar for bar. I think Pun can go toe to toe with anybody. He could have gone toe to toe with anybody, bar for bar.
I agree.
It was because he was so different. I don't think no one really, after he started killing people on his songs, I don't think anyone really wanted to get that smoke with him, man.
Now, I think it was evident. There was a round table. It was Pun. I want to say Mos Def. Pun, Mos Def, Cannabis, X, and somebody else. I think it's the cat from the Fugees that went to jail. Not the Fugees, but that Wyclef shit that went to jail.
You talking about Don Forte?
Yeah, I think it was him on that joint. And I think it was evident that didn't nobody really want that smoke. Yeah. So what happened was Cannabis was like, nah, I gotta go last. And he fought it. But Pun, like, well, I don't give a fuck. I'm going right now. Like, let's get it.
Right. Pun didn't care. Pun be like, yo, even if I started, I would shit on you.
Shit on you, yeah.
Like what?
Why? Why?
Like, well, you had to say that. Like, and even so, the joint that he did with Black Thought on Capital Punishment, and Thought is a lyricist. I mean, pure lyricist. But for Pun as a young artist to like really, in my opinion, show Black Thought up at that time, he was different, man. I don't think he lost any toe-to-toe, any features or anything like that. He always been the #1 featured artist, in my opinion.
I'm gonna say some shit, and I'm gonna catch some flack from a certain city. Listen, Thought is good. I don't take nothing away from Thought. Thought is not a guy that I say, hey, he's top 5, top 10. Yeah, but Thought, in my opinion, Thought has never murdered anybody on a collaboration. That's just my personal opinion. He hasn't murdered anyone on a collaboration, and I know he said it. Oh, people scared to jump on the album. They just want the roots. Like, yeah, they just want the band. Like,
for the band, yeah.
If I'm playing, if I got something going on, why am I gonna have you come in and spit something on some shit I already wrote? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just don't think he's heavy like that.
I think that with don't want to get a tangent, but I think with Thought, I mean, to your point, is Thought no different than GZA?
I'm not gonna say that and the reason why I'm not gonna say that is because GZA, even though he doesn't get the credit that you and I feel like he deserves, GZA also stands along some monsters. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about Ray and Ghost, he's standing beside some monsters already, whereas Thought isn't standing beside anybody. You know what I'm saying? Outside of Thought, the most recognizable person in the Roots is Questlove. That's the drummer. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
get the drummer some, yeah. No, Mark, really get the drummer some, yeah. And you're right.
So,
I mean, at the end of the day, I think that, and I say that because when I think about Thought, I think about Jizza, I think about Deck. You know, I think Deck will give it to him.
give it to Thought.
Yeah, I think Deck could give it to him because
Listen, man, I had to cut you off. I apologize, but shit, we got to think. Deck has what some can consider the greatest hip hop verse ever
of all time. Yeah, of all time.
Like, we're not talking just like of a year, or we're talking ever. Like a bomb atomic league, Socrates philosophies and hypotheses. Like, that is, I know a lot of people who easily consider that to be the greatest verse of hip hop.
Easily.
So I'm gonna go on to my number 4. I got I'm keeping it Southern. I didn't really plan on it like this, but I'm going with Ludacris, man. I think Ludacris is really a top-notch spitter, and for whatever reason, he doesn't get that credit. Even within the South, I don't think Luda is looked at as being that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you talk Southern music, even if you're talking just the new age, a lot of people are going to go the way of T.I., a lot of people are going to go the way of Ross or Jeezy, and for some odd reason, Ludacris just gets left out, and I don't understand it. He's proven that he can go toe-to-toe with you. Like, if you want to do some beef shit, i.e. T.I., you know, even though he kept it simple, you know, it was just a little quick 2 barbs, like, hey, your beef ain't legit, so please get off the TIP of my dick. Yeah. Like, that was a killer. And you know, like, at that time, like, I'm T.I. nothing. Like, right. I'm like, man, fuck Luda. Like, like, I felt like you did when Jay-Z was talking to Nas. Like, nah, bro, you can't be doing Luda. Like, I mean, you can't be doing T.I. like that. So Luda, Luda just does not get the recognition that he deserves, even after all of those classic albums. You look at Saturday, Move Bitch, Get Off Me, like, and Luda will step on your album and Luda will shine on that shit. So I really wish Luda would get a little bit more love, especially within in the Southern Hemisphere.
Absolutely, man. Luda is one of those artists that dropped an album every year.
Yeah,
when he first came out. From his first album, I think, to like his 4th or 5th album, he dropping an album every year, and he had hits on all of those albums. I think Luda showed who he really was when he had that versus battle against Nelly, and
facts.
How he destroyed Nelly so pleasantly. And Nelly, only thing Nelly could say, well, I got this diamond, album on the back of my wall, and they're like, all right, well, here's this, move, bitch, get out the way. I mean, here's another one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, Luda had anthems, and to your point, people, I think they overlooked the fact that Luda actually had lyrics. Luda had bars, and for him to even go at T.I. the way he did, I was loving it, because at that time I didn't really like T.I. that much, but I was loving it. I thought that he was giving T.I. more for his money. Of course, things never really got bigger than what they could have, and I guess that's respect to both of them for keeping it a G and not going that far with it. But I think Luda would have given it to him, man. I'll be honest with you, because I think Luda, because he's so animated and because he has so much of an imagination, just tell him what that battle could go to, man. Honestly.
Oh, most definitely. Listen, man, Luda. But even when you listen to a song like "War of the Gods," where he just let you know, like, motherfucker, don't get it twisted, I can spit.
Oh, like, yeah.
Luda, he displays that, and he knows he can display it. I just think that he felt like he found his lane with being animated, like what we talked about earlier with Busta Rhymes. So I just think that's the lane that he wanted to go in.
Absolutely. So my next one might be controversial, only because I do think that he gets the respect and the love. But I wonder if people they don't talk about him enough to be top 5 or even top 3. He considered himself the GOAT, and he had an album called The GOAT, actually. And Queens Get the Money. It's LL Cool J.
Get the fuck out of here, nigga.
LL Cool J.
All right, before I say that, I gotta hear the explanation on him.
So LL, man, L is crazy. Since LL came out with, radio, dude, I had a boombox, and that shit was like huge huge on my shoulder. And I had like on the Gator shirt. That's before they became, I don't think it was Lacoste, but it was like a Gator.
No, it was not Lacoste. I'm still trying to figure out the name of that shit. Where I had an alley. Hey, like what Biggie say? Why niggas flirt? I'm so much tigers on my shirt and alligators. You want to see the inside
later. And that was true. Yo, I had some Pumas and I had the Gator shirt and a boom box bumping radio. I knew every lyric to that album. And when it got to Bigger and Deffer, Walking with the Panther, Mama Said Knock You Out. Dude, LL was such a lyricist. When he had the album cover, when he rolled over I think it was the Ice-T. I think Ice-T.
Yeah.
And then he called Ice-T a hip hop raccoon because Ice-T had like the rat tail. He called him a hip hop raccoon. He got him a hip hop raccoon. Yo, L used to kill people, man. Like L was, he said Kumo D had the Star Trek shades. L was like, L was disrespectful.
L was very disrespectful. So now I'm gonna tell you what you just did. For the first time in your life, you have been able to persuade me. You're right. Yeah. L probably should get mentioned a little bit more. I think it comes from the time, like what Cannabis was saying, 99% of your fans wear high heels. So that's what he was looked at. And when you think about it, that really wasn't true because he really only had I Need Love that was like strictly for the ladies. Like I know he had Jiggling Baby and shit like that. But that was like Jiggling Baby was like, yo, shorty fine. Like me and my people, we finna pull up, we finna find one. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna say he undefeated in battles because listen, bro. He just had more love. Let's not act like Kool Moe D wasn't right there, like punching. Come on, man. Y'all gonna respect Kool Moe D.
L walked out of that the victor. Anytime your career continue to move forward, you are the victor.
No, nigga.
Don't get me wrong. Kool Moe D.
He makes songs for the ladies, so he gonna move forward. I mean, that's like we look at Drake and Pusha. Pusha clearly won the battle of words.
Yeah, absolutely. But Drake, man, that's what happened to Cannabis. LL's consistency would crush Cannabis. You know what I mean? It wasn't the fact that L out-rapped Cannabis.
It was the snake shit that L did that got Cannabis. L did some snake shit. Even if you go back to the story with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that was some snake shit. But then when we find out later that like this nigga basically went around and kind of sort of paid fucking Clef to fuck up the fucking album. Like that's worse than Irv Gotti trying to blackball 50 Cent, man.
No, man. Yo, he admitted the song. He said, "Let's get back to the bike on my arm. If ever he my side, you don't want to bar that. You want to idolize. You don't want to be mad. You want to social. Like, come on, like, L, you dissing the dude." And
he bigging you up, like,
and make it so bad. He said it. He said, "You don't want to borrow that. You want to
idolize. Like,
you don't want to make me mad. You want to socialize." Like, and then on the back, he had the song. Me and Marvin was talking about this a couple of weeks ago. We was talking about the GOAT album. And on that album, he got this song called. I think Ja Rule is on the hook for that album. And that was one of the last songs that he made when he was dissing Cannabis. And he gave the story on how everything went. And I kid you not, when I heard that joint, I was like, and go to my homeboys, he's like a huge LL fan. And he said, yo, man, this is done. Cannabis is done. He said Cannabis won't do anything else after this song. And he was right. After that song dropped.
Man, Cannabis. Hey, LL was so bad, he made Cannabis join the army. Cannabis was stationed in Fort Lewis, Washington after that shit, man. Like,
Cannabis was in the army. Cannabis was in the army. Yo, it was bad, man. L killed him, man. L was like, yo, I had a verse call. It was so disrespectful. He said, as far as your ex go, my man's hitting up ex broad. I'm getting a head from your new chick. By 20 game bangers applaud. Like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing?
And then I think another thing, just going into a different realm, but I think another thing with L is people don't give respect. L really is a street cat. You know what I'm saying? Like, L was really heavy with Alpo and all those guys. You know what I'm saying? So L was really a street cat. that he really just changed what he was into and made it look like he was just a good guy all the time.
You know the crazy thing about it, man, I heard the story. Ice-T told the story on that show. It was a show that played on BET late last year. Ice-T said that he thought that he had to go kill LL because L was like dissing him so bad. Like L was like, he said it was that bad where he thought that it was gonna come to that. Like, cause Ice-T, from the street.
Yeah, he really about that.
Yeah, he about that. He said he told Angie, it was Angie Martinez show. He told her straight up. He said, "Yo, I thought I was going to kill a guy because he would diss me so hard."
I remember it was on BT. It was on WeTV, the like Angie Martinez Chronicles or something like that. Yeah, I remember that.
And he was like, "Yo, I thought I had to go kill the dude because LL said some real slick shit about my wife." Like LL was talking about his wife in the song, and then he had the Jeep like parked on he parked on the King Cole. Then he got a hip hop raccoon. Like, dude, L was disrespectful, but he also had I Need Love. He also had on the joint, Hey Love. I mean, come on. Like, he had classic albums, in my opinion, and classic songs to go along with it. And that's why L always to this day feels, when they talk about L doing the verses, he laughed. He kind of do that little chuckle. Yeah, I'm not doing that. He telling Swizz, like, I'm not doing that because he's not on my level. Like, because Swizz said, "What about Jay-Z?" He was like, "No, I'm good on that." Like
that's just level. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it. I'm gonna give you your credit. Like,
you got to. And last point I'm gonna make, and I think Merv, loved the point as far as pink cookies in the plastic bag getting crushed by a building. No one knew what the hell he was talking about.
Man, when I found out what that was, I was like, really?
Yeah.
So just for the people who don't know, or go ahead, talk.
No, you don't know. I don't want
to. For the people that don't know, it's nothing. The nigga was high. He said he was thinking about 2 pink cookies getting crushed in the plastic bag by a building. Like, it was nothing. He just he was high. He thought about it. He was like, "Yo, I gotta make a song about this." Like, come on, L.
And it was a hit. So yes, LL he's one of the GOATs.
All right, so my number 3, man. I'm gonna keep it short because we've already talked about him. But my number 3 is Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes, obviously, because I'm a Redman fan, he's gonna go into that same fit. What I will say this, since we already talked about it, I'm gonna just go on a different angle real quick. Go see Busta Rhymes live. Like, if you love going to shows like I do, go see Busta Rhymes live. I promise you will enjoy yourself. You will find yourself, like, I don't care how cool you are, how laid back you want to be, arms folded, cross, chilling, whatever the case may be. Busta Rhymes gonna make your ass jump up and down a couple times. So the energy that he possessed at a show is it's ridiculous and crazy.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying, since we already beat Busta Rhymes up already.
So my next one is Ghostface. Ghostface is one of my favorite rappers of all time. Maybe my number 2 best rapper of all time. I felt like Ghostface was the most consistent member out of the Wu during a period where I think at one point, of course, Method Man got all the shine. Into the Wu was Method Man. He outshined everyone on that album. Just because of his charisma, his style, his flow. I think that he was the one. And then you had the Ray and Ghost joint. You had Cuban Links, where Ray held his own. But to me, Ghost also brought that album to life. And then he turned around and killed it on the Iron Man album. And I always felt like, to me personally, I was a Ghostface fan if I was a Nas fan. I'll be honest with you. Because I just like the way Ghost used to paint pictures, man. Ghost is so underrated. He's criminally underrated. Ghost came on the scene. He was like, "Speaking of the devil, psych, it's the God, get your shit right." Like, yo, Ghost was just a different type of lyricist, man. Everything in the middle of the song, he was like, I think it's the ice cream song. In the middle of the song, break. That nigga was like, "I'm high power, put a D in Howard. Pardon, that bitch was on my mind.
Don't mind all these yo back to
back to the like, yo, in the middle of the song. And then even on the song Kame, he killed. I mean, Ghost was able to give you so many different layers of just storytelling, lyrics, hardcore shit, anything you got, anything you need from a rapper, from an MC, master of ceremony, that was Ghostface. I seen Ghostface in concert 2 times, and he killed it. He don't dance anything. He just get up on there and just do his little thing, little bop, and he be killing it. Ghost to me is so underrated, man. Iron Man to me is one of my favorite albums. It's my top 5 album of all time. I go back and listen to it all the time. It gets that kind of play from me. We may see a retro review one day, but that album is dope. And I think Ghost stole the show on the Wu-Tang Forever album as well. He killed it, man. The most consistent. Supreme Clientele, killed it.
Dope album. I would say Ghost. I can understand Ghost. I do feel like Ghost should probably get a little bit more shine than he gets. I think, like we were saying earlier with Jizza, I think that just come, a product of you standing alongside the chef, you standing alongside Meth, Deck, Jizza, all them guys. When you standing next to someone who's called the genius and he's called the head of Voltron in a super crew, it's going to be tough for you to get that love. And I think that's just a product of the entire Wu-Tang Clan. That's why they can't get it.
Right.
But I definitely don't have a problem with Ghost being in anyone's top 5 or top 10 at least. So I don't have a problem with that. I think here's something crazy about Ghost. For you to be able to make a song with Beyonce. Beyonce says, yeah, it's cool. I don't like it. I'm going to shelf it. But you go back and you leak it and make it hot to where it has to be a part of hip hop. Like that lets you know what he was able to do on that song. So Ghost definitely gets busy.
And Ghost was different. I mean, dude was like gorillas injected with strength of 80 midgets. Like, come on, like, yo, Ghost is just the snake computer wizard. Gorillas injected with strength of 80 midgets. Like, dude, Ghost was just saying some stuff, man. Like, none of his, I remember this, I'm his old guy, man. He was like, yo, none of Ghostface, none of his songs in his album, the titles of the album have nothing to do with the song.
Ever. Ever.
Like, ever.
Except for the one. I think that's the only one. What's that shit? All that I got is you. Like, that's probably it.
That was it.
Like Daytona 500, I'm like.
Nothing.
Like, nothing. Really, nigga?
Like, the song, fish was my favorite joint too. Like, we eat fish, fried. None of his album titles, none of the album song titles matched the song. He just threw it on there. It was like Iron Maiden. He just threw it on there.
Yeah.
I mean,
but nah, I like Ghost. I do think Ghost is probably the best lyricist when it comes to the Wu. My favorite. I think now they're going to call him a member because I don't feel like Capadonna was a member at first. So my favorite is Capadonna, but Ghost is easily probably the most consistent. He's probably the best. He's going to give you the most storytelling. He's going to give you the best metaphors, and he's going to go into the white boy, Slim Shady. He's going to go into his bag and give you some double entendres every now and again that make you be like, what the fuck is? Okay.
Right.
Like Ghost is on some shit. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Ghost.
Absolutely. So
my number 2, near and dear to my heart. My number 2 is definitely Big Crit. Like, listen, man, Big Crit is jamming. Big Crit has music that's for your soul. Big Crit, he always used the phrase, if it ain't made from the soul, then it ain't fit to serve. And he's not talking about food. He's talking about his music. When Big Crit get in that lab, like, he goes bananas. He's a producer. He produces his own music. So for him to not be getting the same shine that the newer guys get, such as Kendrick Lamar or such as J. Cole, such as Big Sean, it really baffles me. I don't understand it. And the sad part is, whenever you tell somebody, hey, listen to Crit, they like Crit from that moment. Right. And so, look, here go Nephew again. Nephew just tripping. So Nephew is actually from Meridian, Mississippi, which is where Crit is from. So that's why he's just talking shit, clowning. But Crit is Crit Crit, the recognition that Crit deserves, I feel like it's coming. And the reason why I feel like it's coming, because now you have artists speaking out about, yo, y'all need to listen to Crit. You already had Nas give him a big shout out. You've already had Dave East give him a big shout out. You've had Waka Flocka. Waka Flocka said, if God asked me who can I rap like, he said it would be Big Crit. So, you know, even though Waka is not the greatest, but for someone to even say something of that stature about you, that means you're doing something right. And now you got Knife Wonder. Knife Wonder looking in the bag like, yo,
right.
Listen to the song with him and J. Cole got a couple tracks together. And I promise you this, when you finish listening to them songs, you're gonna like Crit verse a little bit better than you're gonna like Cole verse. And I'm a Cole fan. So
yes, you will. I agree with you. I agree. I think I got on Crit about 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, when I knew about a long time ago he first came out, but when I really got on it is when he had the concert at the One Music Fest in Atlanta.
Yeah.
We were out there and he tore that shit down. He killed it. And I was like, I remember I told my wife, I said, yo, I need to get some Crit stuff in the car right now. And I would listen to Crit that entire weekend, man. And it was just Crit is a beast. And I had to go back and start listening to his older stuff again, just to absorb what I missed back then. And Crit is special. He is special. I don't think he get the recognition that he should get. I think it's coming. I think he is that one album away of just really blowing it away, where everybody say, okay, this is the truth. And to your point, this joint that he's going to have with J. Cole, you're going to see the difference. Cole, don't get me wrong, Cole is a monster, but you're going to see a difference because Crit, I feel like when he raps, he pays attention to each bar because each bar builds up. If you ever notice in his raps, each bar builds up and tell a story, and he go back to it and he close it out. Not many artists do that. A lot of them just rapping just to rap. But Crit is an MC. It's a difference. It's just between an MC and a rapper. Crit is an MC. And he's going to give it to you.
Another thing about Crit is going to talk about everything that's relevant to a Southern man. And I think that's something that is a downfall to him. Because listen, Crit, he going to talk to you about police brutality. He's going to talk to you about finding you a woman and loving her and all that. And Crit also going to talk about some gangster shit. And he's definitely going to talk about two things. He's going to talk about his speakers bumping 215s in the trunk. And he's definitely going to talk about some boppers dropping it low while he sprinkling some money on our ass. So I think the wide range kind of hurts him because he just goes everywhere and you're going to hear it everywhere in his album.
Absolutely.
But, man, listen, I want Nicole, it's Big Crit. K-R-I-T. Please go listen to Big Crit.
Absolutely. So before I get into
facts, nephew.
What he said?
Mount Olympus. He's just putting a Crit lyric up there.
Yep, absolutely. So before I give my last one, do you have any honorable mentions that you felt that that you left off the table, that you felt like you kind of toyed with it? Anybody left out there?
It's a lot of people, man, and it's like we said, it's the unsung rappers of hip hop, those that don't get their credit. I think when you talk about people who don't get the credit, we got to go Sheik Louch. Sheik again is a product of standing beside two monsters, so he's not going to get the love that he may necessarily deserve. But I tell people all the time, man, I think Come Walk With Me is probably the best Lock solo joint. That's my personal opinion. When you talk about Lock solo albums, I think Come Walk With Me is the one. So I would say Sheik, and then someone in the comments said earlier, I definitely say Common. Common gets busy. Like
he does. He does.
He went at a battle rapper that's like, you probably don't want to battle Ice Cube, but Common went and took his head off. Like
absolutely.
So
I think the thing I saw that comment about Common. My only thing about Common is when he started messing with Erica. His last couple of albums, man, was like right after that, they were like,
I don't know. I think they got a little different, but I think they were still cool.
He made it kind of weird. But that B album with Kanye produced, best album. Yeah, that was the best album. But after that, it's like when he started doing like this shit with he on the cover with like some rainbow stuff going around him, there's all kind of weird things going on. Like I'm good. I'm still with you, Common. I'm good though on this one. I'll take a break. But yeah, Common definitely in there. I think my other one was I think that my other one was Prodigy. Rest in peace. Prodigy. I think that Prodigy was at one point, Prodigy was mentioned as top 5 dead or alive at one point. I do feel that Prodigy would have been my honorable mention, just because of just I think Prodigy and Mobb Deep as a whole brought a different sound, different grit. So definitely Prodigy was my my honorable mention. I see some Stacks say Lupe.
I don't listen, man. You know, I'm pretty sure you've seen the meme. They got the meme where he talking about these are 8 guys. He'll out rap everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, first off, to me, the list is invalid because you got fucking Eminem on there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's first and foremost. So, but I'm not a Lupe fan. I wouldn't. Yeah.
So
that's all I'm gonna say on that.
Yeah, just leave it at that. So my last one, and again, I don't want to sound cliche, but I want you to understand why this person is my last one, because his name, if you think about it, his name does not come up in the top 5 or top 10, and I do not know why. I searched mad lists over the past 4 or 5 hours since we talking about doing this today. I did not see him on any list, top 5 or top 10. And that is no other than Kanye West. I do not know why Kanye is not listed in a top 5 or a top 10. And I think
producers, we can give him that.
I'm talking about just MCing, rapper, artists, etc. Kanye, and I know Stacks out there listening, Kanye catalog is better than Jay-Z catalog.
Whew, all right. See, you had me early. You got me on your side with LL, but then you gonna come and say some foolishness like that. Come on, man. Listen, we're not here, as Manny would say, we're not Danny Clickbait Thompson, man. Nah, man, we're not doing this for clickbait. We're not finna sit here and say that Kanye's shit is better than Jay.
Look, I'm not going to go into details why I said that. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna let you think about it. But
ain't shit to think about.
Kanye's catalog is better than Jay's catalog.
Yeah.
Kanye is a triple threat. He makes beats, he can rap, he can produce, he can do the whole 9. The triple threat comes from the producing, the rapping, and the style. Period. Kanye created an entire backpack wave. No matter how you look at it, he's gotten better. Yes, he's got.
He created that. So we're not going.
You got to give it to him. You got.
No, I'm gonna get that to Black Star.
No,
I'm gonna get that to Mos Def.
No,
I'm gonna get that to Talib.
Mos Def was more conscious, not backpack. Mos Def was more conscious. They came with the conscious thing.
The whole thing started backpack.
But
they backpack in the park, in Central Park.
But they're more
when niggas is not supposed to be gathering at.
Right, but they're more conscious. But Yeezy, dude, we're doing a review tomorrow on Graduation. And you haven't had a chance to listen to that album. You need to go back and listen to that album like right now. Go back and listen to Twisted Dark Fantasy. Listen to that shit. Listen to what Kanye got better. Every album he's gotten better. From his first album. Now he had that heartbreak shit. That was kind of weird. I did it. Yeah. And that shit, it's like you do when that shit come on. That's like you do, man. But Ye, honestly, man, real talk, I don't think Ye get enough. I think he get global respect as an artist. But as far as being a rapper, an MC, a lyricist, I don't think he got a lot of respect. And I don't know why. I think that Ye held his own. You're talking about you got Beans, you got Jay, even Cam was popping on the ride. No matter, people can talk about Dipset this and Dipset that, and Cam this and Cam that boopity boop, scoobity boop, whatever he been rapping back then.
Computers computing this shit. Computers computing and looters looting.
Yeah, computers looters looting. Christian, that Love Lockdown Lockdown was something, man. Yo, Ye had some shit, man. I don't think that he get the respect as far as he should with regards to his raps. And he said it before himself. Like, this nigga been saying some shit. So Ye to me is that one unsung hero. Again, I don't want to get this twisted. I'm not saying that Ye's not that dude. I'm saying as far as when you're talking about hip hop circles, when you're talking about top 5 or top 10 or whatever, Ye's not mentioning that. I checked a lot of lists. I did not see his name on those lists. Ye is a far better artist than an Eminem. And I'm talking about just beats. I'm talking about just rapping content.
But that's not hard to beat.
It's not. It's not.
Like I really feel like we can come up with 50 rappers off the top of our head that are better than that. That's my personal opinion, though. But
me back in when I was like let me stop. Let me chill with that. But nah, I mean, Ye's my guy. So I thought, the number one.
All right. So before I get my number one, I do want to make an announcement. Check us out next Monday, same time, same place, 8 o'clock. We got a special guest. We got none other than the man that's considered to be the Carolina King. We got DJ Chuck T is going to be in the house. If you don't know who DJ Chuck T is, he's famous for the Down South Slangin' series. He also did Southern Classic series. He's a tour DJ. He's worked with the likes of Cash Money. He's worked with the likes of No Limit. He's also responsible, in my opinion, he would tell you he's not solely responsible, but he's very responsible for the career of the Baby. He's why the Baby was able to get popping. So he's going to come on next week with us, and we're going to talk about DJing. We're going to talk about DJs, the art of DJing, and so please tune in. We're going to have DJ Chuck T. We're going to have DJ Chuck T on the line. So make sure y'all check us out next Monday. So my number one, none other. It's my favorite artist of all time. It's your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. It's Redman. So listen, Redman is responsible for a lot of what you all hear amongst classic rappers. When you hear Busta Rhymes, that's Redman. When you hear Method Man, that's Redman. When you hear, even though he's trash, when you hear Eminem, that's Redman. Like, Red is solely responsible for the way that people are flowing out there in the streets. If you listen to anything that had Redman and Method Man, you can tell the difference of Redman having to step his game up dealing with Red and it going in a different direction because he couldn't do the same thing that he did with Wu-Tang with Redman. Redman is super dope. Listen, when you have a song like I Can't Wait, and the things that he's got to be switching up speeds like Bruce Lee riding the Fuji in the movie, like listen to what he's saying. Like, Red is just that guy. Like, I don't even have nothing else to say because I feel like I've spoken on Redman probably every fucking week because that's how much I revere him as an artist. Red is super dope, and I just don't think he's gonna get that love. But I do think what I do like and appreciate about the love that Redman actually gets is from the hip hop circle, he's considered to be a king. When you start talking to rappers, they're gonna say Redman is one of the kings. I just wish the fans would jump on board and give him that love and respect that he deserves.
I agree with you. I saw Redman in Newport News. They were at the Heart and Life tour, and I was stationed at Fort Useless.
Hey, watch your mouth, man. Why you always gotta be disrespectful, man?
My bad. I was there for schooling on that putrid army base, the nasty army soldiers. But anyhow, we went out to this club, man, because we didn't know they were in town. Again, I was like 19, man. This was like Hard on Left Tour was like just making their rounds, and I saw him perform, and Redman he was crazy, man. You would think that Method Man had all the energy, but Redman was just as, if not more, energetic than Meth was. And I've seen Meth in concert like 3 times, and Redman was just wild, man. Funk Dr. Spot, man. I mean, to your point, I don't think Red ever got the credit that he deserved in the circles of hip hop. And I don't know why. I think that his peers respect him. You go to anybody who, like any rapper, they love Redman. But you don't see his name in the top 10 much. You don't really see his name in top. You definitely see his name in top five. Um, they put everybody above Redman that should not even be touching. They can't even lace his boots. You know what I mean? So I agree with you there. I think Redman is unsung, and that sounds crazy because of his catalog. I don't think Red has ever had a dud album.
No.
Straight up. I think every album Red has dropped, it was a great album. He was on Def Jam for a reason. Def Jam did not take suckers. You know what I mean? They took, prime beef. You know what I mean? They was like,
Yeah.
yo, give me taking the talent. So Redman was talented, still is talented. Red would still jump on the track and give it to you. Hands down, one of my favorite artists as well. So I can see Red being number one.
So that wraps up our top five. Like I said, I just can't continue to speak on Red. I feel like I speak on Red every fucking week.
You do.
So I got to, man. Listen, it's two people I want the world to actually listen to and give them their credit. And that's gonna be Red and Crit, man. I'm telling people, like, when you actually sit back and you listen to those guys, I don't care what you're doing. You could be mowing the grass, no shots at a certain individual, or you could be driving, or whatever the case may be. Red and Crit are really going to give you some vibing type shit. So
Right.
I just challenge everybody. Listen, go right now. Go listen to Cadillactica and go listen to Muddy Waters, and you will see why I'm so big on those two artists. So.
Right. And that's how I feel about Ghost, man. I feel the same about Ghost. Like, go listen to Iron Man. Go listen to Supreme Clientele. I mean, go listen to Bulletproof Wallets. I mean, go listen to all of these joints that Ghost had dropped. Out of the whole clan, Ghost has been the most consistent. A lot of people felt that Wu-Tang did not. They kind of fell off after Wu-Tang Forever. After that first wave went through. And a lot of albums after that, they weren't produced by RZA. RZA kind of, laid the plan out and disappeared, let them do their own thing. But Ghost was the one carrying that Wu flag after that because everybody else dropping like some mediocre projects. You know what I mean? And Ghost was the one that was carrying that flag for a long, long time. So definitely one of my favorite artists. So Joe, I want to ask you before we hop off, man. What are you listening to? What's in your rotation right now, man? Like, what are you listening to right now?
I got two things, man. One is Conway the Machine is still getting heavy rotation. Big Shawn, believe it or not, Big Shawn is getting a lot of rotation.
Yeah.
And then when I'm at work, because it got to be PG, I'm listening to 90s hip hop on Pandora or something like that. So. But the two albums that are really getting a lot of shine for me right now is definitely Big Sean's album and definitely Conway the Machine's album.
I'm not gonna front. I can't take King's Disease out.
I got you.
I'm playing it every day. Every day I'm playing it front to back every day.
I'm gonna be honest. After you did your sneak diss attack on us, when you shot all of us, I went back and I started listening to it, and I did have a different appreciation. Now, it's not something that I'm still playing like every day, but I do have a different appreciation. So I guess that's twice. Listen, I don't know what the fuck happened. The world is definitely coming to an end because I'm sitting here and I'm being persuaded by fucking
I'm a
Shawn.
monster. I'm a monster. You know that.
No, definitely not. We're not going to agree on that. But
I have fun, my dude.
Yeah, always, man. Before we go, man, I want you to go ahead and give everybody the shout outs,
Yeah, no doubt. Shout out to the guys first and foremost. Shout out to Merv. Shout out to Stack. Shout out to Mark. Although the Philadelphia Eagles getting their ass beat. Shout out to everybody who watching us tonight, who had a chance to sit and listen to us. Shout out to Christian. Shout out to Nicole, Melinda, everyone who made comments tonight. Anyone who actually watching us. Shout out to all of you. Shout out to Blackjack TV. Shout out to YouTube. Shout out to Facebook Live. Everybody who even playing any parts of what we're doing. We appreciate you guys riding with us. We're continuing to grow. Next week is going to be something very special. Again, like Dre mentioned earlier, Chuck T is coming on. We're going to get into some other hip hop stuff. If you are a hip hop diehard fan, if you're a B-boy or a B-girl, next week is the spot to be because we're going to get into it next week. I think next week is going to be really good. So if you know anyone that's a B-boy or B-girl, please share. Please like it. Please let them know to tune in. This is no joke. This is like no just fly by DJ. This is a legit DJ that that does his thing. So we want to pay homage to him as well, but we also want to talk that shit to him too. Cause Dre, we ain't scared of nobody. We can get shit. Dre talk shit to Pusha T just because Pusha T benches our daughter. I mean, so
whoa, listen, hey, Boogie is a monster. Boogie will never get benched. We ain't worried about that.
Boogie,
Yo,
Boogie,
hey,
it's all love, Boogie.
Bench Boogie, me and Pusha gonna have some words. I'm gonna be that parent that time.
Indeed. So, and my last shout out to you, Dre. But to my dude, Dre, man. Shout out to you, my dude. Yo, we doing this thing, man. We're seeing things grow. We're seeing different opportunities come really fast. And a lot has to do with you, man, for what it's worth.
Well, I appreciate it, homie. Big shout out to you. Like you already said, big shout out to the guys. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern time. That's when the guys, Merv and Stacks, and I think Mark will be jumping on with them. That's when they'll do their power review. And then, you know, like Stacks said, famously as Ghost and Meth said, on Wednesday we come together like Voltron and we create the Guys podcast, and you'll catch all of us. Again, listen, we have someone who has an interconnection with the industry. We got someone that's coming in that's not a slouch. If you got time, go check out DJ Chuck T. Listen to his mixtapes. Listen, he broke some of the South's biggest records. He worked with Cash Money. You know, like I said, he worked with No Limit. He's just that guy. Like, he's the reason that you have the baby popping right now. So please check us out next Monday at 8 o'clock. Big shout out to Zingo TV. Big shout out to Facebook Live, YouTube Live. And like I said, you can catch us on OneMileHigh.net. That is the internet radio streaming service that's very popular. So please check us out. Hey, until next time, I just want to give a salute to my guy Shawn and everybody else out there. We'll talk to y'all next time.
Indeed. Peace.